Right now, a former president in Wisconsin stumping ahead of Election Day, what he had to say to crowds in Milwaukee. And we're learning new information on the suspect who attacked Nancy Pelosi's husband, how he's doing this morning.
And the mild conditions continue today despite the increase in the cloud cover. How long will these conditions last? I'll break down. And we might see rain, and we might see a 70 this week, too.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Thanks for joining us for Weekend Mornings. I'm Leah Lynchide in for Shane Hogan, alongside Greg Barnhart, who, again, bringing the best news of the day with a beautiful forecast on
It is.
tap.
Once again, we can't beat the last 2 weeks we've had. We had a little brief cold spell, but, you know, go back a week and a half, we were in the 70s. Then we kind of briefed down, cooled down. Now we're back up in the 60s, almost 70 again.
Coming back to the 70s in a couple of days, am I right?
Yes, we will see it again.
Tell us all about
Most areas. So, like I said, we're starting off warmer this morning just because we had increasing clouds overnight. So instead of being in the low 30s, we're more in the upper 30s to low 40s in certain areas. So that's the good news. The good news, but the bad news kind of in that is the more clouds means our high temperatures won't climb as high. So really in the end, we'll end up kind of where we were yesterday with the low 60s. So that's what we're dealing with now. The cloud cover has prevented some of that fog that we had yesterday kind of forming. There's a few areas, especially east of Madison and then west of La Crosse, that had some reduction, but overall we're in better shape than we were yesterday. Low 60s to mid 60s. Once again, high temperatures very similar to yesterday today, just because we started off a little bit. These were the temperatures yesterday. We actually almost got to 70 in La Crosse. Well, it won't get there today just because of the increase in cloud cover, but still well above average for this time of year. Right now, 41 degrees in Madison. We're going to get up to about 60 by 1 p.m. Cloud cover, high cloud cover will be out there, but the winds will be light today like they were yesterday. La Crosse, similar story, 41. They'll have the clouds increasing here later, not as much as we would see in Madison, but we'll see that also. And you can see by satellite, there's a cloud cover that's beginning to approach from the south. Bigger picture, that system's going to stay to our south. We have nothing in the forecast out west that's going to affect us, and I'll break down when the next chance we have of rain a bit later in the broadcast.
All right. Greg Barnhart, thank you very much. This morning, MPD's Violent Crimes Unit is investigating what they're calling a weapons violation on the city's east side early Saturday morning. Those gunshots ringing out early, the doorbell camera capturing the sound of at least a dozen over a minute-long period. Police say 3 people had to be rushed to the hospital with injuries. Luckily, we're told they are all expected to survive. This happened around 3 in the morning when officers were called to a home along Milwaukee Street off of East Washington Avenue. Even though a gun was fired, as you heard in that video, Madison police not yet calling this a shooting, instead referring it to a weapons offense. We spoke with a neighbor who says after hearing those shots, he saw people running down the street away from a home.
I was abruptly awoken by a bunch of gunshots, probably 12 or 15. And I looked out the window, saw some people running down the sidewalk and kind of just yelling.
We will continue to bring you updates on this story as we receive them both on air and online.
The reason I'm here is simple. I am here to ask you to vote.
Former President Barack Obama, the latest in a string of high-profile politicians campaigning in Wisconsin. Our political reporter, Will Keneally, reports on what he had to say.
But in your gut, you should have a sense, who cares about you? Who's going to fight for working people who are struggling to pay the bills?
The answer, according to former President Barack Obama, not Republicans.
Who's actually going to do something about it? The Republicans are having a field day running ads, talking about it. But what is their actual solution to it?
Which is why he returned to Milwaukee today to campaign for Democrats up and down the ballot.
For your outstanding governor, Tony Evers.
When we do the right thing, Wisconsin is better and stronger. When our kids have access to a quality education, they have a foundation for a lifetime of success.
Democrats compared that to the Republican platform.
It's about the very few that Ron Johnson has kept propped up at the top and the rest of us who they consistently leave behind at the bottom. We know that if we're going to change Washington, we got to change the people we send to Washington.
The rally was in an effort to mobilize Democratic voters. And for their part, the RNC told News 3 Now that Republicans had knocked on nearly 1.5 million doors so far this cycle, a sizable increase over 4 years ago when they only did 650,000 doors. So a big mobilizing effort ahead of the election, just 10 days away.
We can make things better. And better is worth fighting for.
In response to the rally, Republican gubernatorial candidate Tim Michels touted his plans to expand school choice, saying in part, quote, "I won't accept failure. These kids deserve better than what the establishment has offered them for the last 40 years. All right, police in Verona continuing their search efforts for a man who hasn't been seen since last Monday. 51-year-old John Ramseer was last seen in the area of Melody Circle and Melody Lane. Family and friends searching the Military Ridge Trail all day yesterday. They'll meet again today to figure out their next steps. It's believed Ramseer might be on foot or bicycle. There's a picture of him up on your screen. Come take a look. He's about 5'11", 170 pounds, balding with glasses. If you've seen John, you're asked to give Verona police a call. The number to call right there on your screen. And we're getting a look at the man accused of attacking Paul Pelosi, the husband of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. This is 42-year-old David DePapi. He's expected to be arraigned Tuesday. Doctors expect Mr. Pelosi, meanwhile, to make a full recovery after surgery to repair a skull fracture and serious injuries to his right arm and hands. Authorities have not yet identified a motive, although the suspected attacker posted a number of conspiracy theories online. The attack comes as threats against members of Congress have risen to historic levels. CBS News correspondent Christian Benvenides reports.
For his wife, RB stated he doesn't know who the male is, but he advised that his name is David.
Police say 82-year-old Paul Pelosi called 911 around 2 in the morning while his attacker was already in the San Francisco home.
He was the caller. Dispatch kind of took it from there and read between the lines.
On the call, federal sources told CBS News the dispatcher could hear what sounded like someone being threatened in the background and sent a high-priority alert to law enforcement. Authorities say the suspect, 42-year-old David DePapi, repeatedly hit the House Speaker's husband with a hammer.
At the point at which the police arrived, he did turn and use that hammer against the Speaker's husband in a manner that appeared that he was intending to kill him.
Sources tell CBS News the intruder shouted, "Where's Nancy?" and planned to detain Pelosi's husband until she returned. President Biden said he spoke to the Pelosi since the attack, which he discussed after he voted today in Delaware.
You can't condemn the violence unless you condemn those people who continue to argue the election was not real, that it's being stolen, that all the malarkey that's being put out there to undermine democracy.
Republican Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell wrote he was horrified and disgusted by reports of the incident. Just days before the midterm election, the Department of Homeland Security Friday issued a bulletin warning of a heightened threat towards candidates running for public office, elected officials, and election workers. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
Happening today, the Badger women's soccer team kicks off the postseason on their home turf here in Madison. They'll face Penn State in the Big Ten quarterfinals. The Badgers got shut out by Penn State a few weeks back, but they did end their regular season with a big win over Nebraska, which allowed them to lock up this home field advantage today. It's giving the squad the right momentum heading into the postseason.
In this game, they figured out how to do it. They figured out how they were going to be effective. And so I think it just kind of gives them a little bit more confidence moving forward to the next couple games that they've figured a pattern or a method to be able to be successful. So it's exciting to see them carry it on to the next game here.
That game begins at 4 p.m. at McClyman Track. It's 7:37 on your Sunday. Stay with us. Weekend Mornings returns right after the break.
Hi, this is Lisa from 4Imprint. Yes. I'd like 50 welcome wows, 300 customer I love it, and 200 team member oh yes. Certainly. You know we got some brand new woohoos.
Dial up the wow factor with promotional products from 4Imprint. We specialize in awesome items that are certain to awe and guaranteed to deliver some ooh yes. From apparel, backpacks, drinkware to high-tech items.
Wow. I love it. Woohoo!
Go Go to 4imprint.com and find some wow now. 4imprint, for certain.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. Attention all women who have been diagnosed with ovarian cancer. If you or a loved one used talcum powder for routine feminine hygiene and later suffered from ovarian cancer, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. The use of talc-based powders has been linked to ovarian cancer. Call right now.
Call 1-800-982-8758.
With Choice Hotels, there's always a reason to book it. Whatever your reason, save 20% when you stay 2 or more nights at participating locations. Book direct at choicehotels.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Abuelita, my father, my whole family, and Grand Canyon University made me the man I am today. Hi, Tia. I think I'm gonna do Grand Canyon University's online program and get my master's degree.
Trata de llevar a tu familia en el corazón y lograrás lo que tú quieres. Estoy muy orgullosa de ti.
I have an announcement to make, so I'm going to get my master's degree online at Grand Canyon University.
Find your purpose at GCU.
When moderate to severe ulcerative colitis persists, put it in check with Rinvoq, a once-daily pill.
When UC got unpredictable, I got rapid symptom relief with Rinvoq. Check.
When UC held me back, I got lasting steroid-free remission with Rinvoq. Check.
And when UC got the upper hand, Rinvoq helped visibly repair the colon lining.
Check. Rapid symptom relief, lasting steroid-free remission, and a chance to visibly repair the colon lining. Check, check, and check.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers, including lymphoma and skin cancer, death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Put UC in check and keep it there with Rinvoq.
Ask your gastroenterologist about Rinvoq and learn how AbbVie could help you save.
Hey, Dad, I'm almost out.
I got you.
Any questions, Chris?
All good. Thanks, Maura.
Healthier is managing all your family's prescriptions in one app.
Although it'll be mild today, we still have more clouds that are coming from the south, approaching from there's a system that's approaching the Ohio River Valley. That's why we're seeing more clouds and obviously more higher temperatures this morning. You can see there's a visible the satellite as you see clouds beginning to push further north. Some of that rain to the west really is not reaching the ground, pretty dry. So overall temperatures are much higher than we were yesterday. We're in the low 40s to upper 30s. With the cloud cover, temperatures won't climb as high, but in the end result, we'll end up being in the low to mid 60s, which pretty much where we were yesterday, too. If we plan out the day for La Crosse, clouds will begin to increase there this afternoon. They'll get up to the low 60s. Same story for Madison, too. We'll see the clouds already here. They'll stick around all day long, high clouds, but still we'll get up into the low 60s, well above average where we should be this time of year. Halloween looks good, less sun. 60s and 50s for trick-or-treating, and then 70s, yes, possibly for Tuesday, Wednesday, and even Thursday.
All right, Greg Barnhart, thank you very much. Some baseball news now. The World Series tied at a game apiece as the teams take a day off to travel to Philadelphia. Last night, the Houston Astros making a bit of a comeback after they lost their lead early on in Game 1 against the Phillies. The Astros up by 5 in the 5th. They're able to stay ahead until the end with the final score there of 2-5.
This team has a short memory on bad occurrences and bad games, and you know, you can't bring yesterday into today or else it'll continue. You have to start all over again and just realize it's a new day, and hopefully we have a different outcome.
The World Series will continue Monday night with first pitch in Philadelphia at 7 p.m. And the Packers hoping to turn their season around in Buffalo tonight. There's no hiding the fact that nobody besides the Packers themselves are picking Aaron Rodgers and company to take down the Bills. Green Bay is entering that game as double-digit underdogs. That never happens to a Rodgers team. A silver lining, something to look at here. In primetime, the Packers are 16-2 in their last 18 games.
We've been pretty good in prime time the last, 13 games or so. So we expect the same type of performance this week. To be a double-digit underdog is a different spot for us. And I hope we embrace that role because probably not going to be like this for a while.
Josh Allen and the Bills are 5-1 this season. The Packers, if you need this sober reminder, are 3-4. Well, Madison police expect there will be a lot of pedestrians out this weekend trick-or-treating, so they're reminding drivers to be extra careful to not add to the recent bike and pedestrian crashes we've seen in town. Our Armand Rahman reports.
I think that this is one of our first Halloweens kind of post-pandemic.
Couple that with scary good weather forecasted.
And so I would expect that you'll see more people going door to door than we have in the last couple of years.
So when it comes to your little superheroes, ghouls, and other trick-or-treaters,
make sure that you're crossing streets safely in a group and in as safe of a manner as you can. One of the things that's been helpful for parents to consider is having lights or flashlights on their kids' costumes.
After 3 different pedestrians have been hit in and around Madison so far this month.
Certainly those incidences are foremost in our mind.
Police want to remind drivers to be mindful of speed and more families in crosswalks and driveways over the weekend and Monday.
You know, we really want people to be safe because we would rather have you be thinking about prevention than coming and responding after an accident's occurred.
This year, there's another fright you may have heard online. Rainbow fentanyl, a version of the extremely potent and deadly drug supposedly colored to look like candy.
It is a time for scary things, but I'm pretty confident that that's not going to be one of the scares that we'll be talking about next week when we're done with this.
With only a few reported cases in certain parts of the country, MPD wants to assure parents.
I don't think anybody needs to panic. I'm not hearing that this is happening here, or we're not seeing this in a high volume or percentage here.
Still, officers say it never hurts to do a once-over on what your trick-or-treater has in their bag.
Anything that's not wrapped in what seems to be manufacturer wrapping, throw it away. It's not worth the risk, and, you know, be smart about the decisions that you're making for your children and what you're letting them consume.
What a cutie. Okay, MPD also recommends being considerate. Make sure you're knocking on doors of houses with lights on, decorations, or candy already out. And a reminder, you can find all of the trick-or-treating hours where you live up on our website, channel3000.com. 7:45 now. Still ahead, the Wisconsin bars banning a certain kind of costume over a trending Netflix show. And a live look over the Capitol. The sun up at this hour. Greg looking ahead to that Halloween forecast. Whether you'll have to layer up under the costume after the break. But first, if you've got a little kid turning 3 soon, send us a picture so we can put them on TV and celebrate with you.
This portion of News 3 Now is sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Warrens, Wisconsin.
It's the Hy-Vee Red Hot Weekend Cereal Sale. This Friday through Sunday. Get 50% off Kellogg's and General Mills cereal. That's right, 50% off this Friday through Sunday. Scan the code, get deals. Only at Hy-Vee.
If you overdraw your account, Wells Fargo gives you an extra day grace period to avoid the overdraft fee. What if everything came with a grace period? Like accidentally parking where you shouldn't.
Hey, what about this one? Nah, that one gets an extra day. Somebody got lucky.
Like having an extra day grace period? When it comes to overdrafts, you can with Wells Fargo.
Need life insurance? SelectQuote found Jacob, 40, a $500,000 policy for only $19 a month. And SelectQuote found his wife, Wendy, a $500,000 policy for only $17 a month.
Our secret? At SelectQuote, we aggressively comparison shop up to 10 highly rated companies to find you the company with the best rates. Why pay more? Give your family the security they need at a price you can afford. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
There's a reason big dental bills often come as a shock, because sometimes you don't realize what's not covered until you get the bill. That's why affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual is important. It can give you benefits that go beyond what you get from more limited coverage plans. Because no one likes a big dental bill, especially if you're retired or on a fixed income. For a free information kit, call or go online now. This isn't some discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps cover over 350 procedures, like cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures, at any dentist you want. Dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company helps cover preventive care, basic work, and major procedures with no deductibles and no annual maximum. For your free information kit with all the details, call now or visit sendinfokit.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
It's the Hy-Vee Red Hot Weekend cereal sale. This Friday through Sunday. Get 50% off Kellogg's and General Mills cereal. That's right, 50% off this Friday through Sunday. Scan the code, get deals. Only at Hy-Vee.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Yeah, we're looking at another good Halloween forecast like we've had last year and a couple years too. So overall, no issues to speak of. Both locations should be in the 60s during the day. Skies will be mostly sunny, then becoming mostly clear as the sun sets. Then we're looking at temperatures then slowly falling into the 50s during the trick-or-treating or evening hours. So good conditions. We remain in a split flow pattern, as we say. Cold air's locked to the north with one. There's another jet to the south, which is keeping really the moisture from us too. So kind of this west flow, which keeps us mild, but we don't see much in way of precipitation. That will change a little bit this week. First, we're going to start getting the colder air dig further south. There's going to be a system set up out west. That, in turn, will get the flow of southwest. That'll pull some warmer air up northward into our area. So it looks like the warmest temperatures will probably be Wednesday into Thursday along with the wind. We'll eventually get this system and the rain coming through by Friday, and then it kind of lingers, and then we have something come up from the south through the weekend, also giving us another chance for rain. The good news is the cold air still is locked to the north even with this somewhat pattern change. So we're not going to see temperatures get real cold maybe until next week. So in the meantime, we got cloud cover. We have a system to the south coming up north. It's just going to provide us with cloud cover, a few showers to northern Illinois, maybe getting into southeastern, far southeastern Wisconsin. Overall, the other areas, we'll just see cloud cover. That'll clear out later tonight and tomorrow. We'll see winds turn around a little bit Monday before they really turn around to the southwest coming Tuesday, and then increase in speed Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and that's when our temperatures will start to warm up to near 70. So as we time this out locally with temperatures, cloud cover today, that'll allow us the temperatures not to climb as high as we did somewhat yesterday, so still low to mid 60s as we get out in about tomorrow this afternoon. Tonight we'll see clearer skies. Clouds will start dissipating a little bit. Temperatures will again fall back into the upper 30s, low 40s, and then tomorrow, more sun, which means temperatures mid to upper 60s. And that'll continue even through Tuesday and to Wednesday. So as you can see, it's going to be a nice Halloween setup with the evening temperatures back into the 50s. So as we get to the extended, there's your 70-degree temperatures we might see in Madison. I think a lot of areas out to the west will see a couple days of 70s. Overnight lows might not even get below 55 for a couple days too, which is very unusual. La Crosse, they're going to hit the 70s. Couple days, maybe even 3 days, depending. The showers and thunderstorms for them come Thursday night. And it's unsettled through the weekend. A lot of questions on timing of the precipitation, but it does look unsettled through probably Monday for both locations. Right now, Tuesday for Election Day looks okay. Mid to upper 40s, cooler, but that's not far from average.
I appreciate that first warn on the weekend rain chances.
Yeah, it's coming. We're going to see it. We do need it. We've been fairly dry for the October. We're going to well short of our normal rainfall for both locations, so we could use it, but I know everyone's kind of enjoyed this nice weather for the last 2 weeks.
They have. Greg, thank you very much. Some bars in Milwaukee are banning Jeffrey Dahmer Halloween costumes this weekend. The serial killer taking the lives of 17 men and boys in the 80s and 90s. Caroline Reinwald reports on those trying to educate people who might not know the trauma Dahmer caused.
Ahead of Halloween festivities, management at DIX Milwaukee is warning customers one costume will not be tolerated.
We understand that there is a generation out there that did not live this situation. They may not understand the severity of how it affected the community.
Promoting their Saturday Halloween party and costume contest, DIX also posted on Facebook, please, no Jeffrey Dahmer costumes.
We just don't want to really put our patrons in a situation where they would have to see something or relive something that they had to truly experience.
A traumatizing time the LGBTQ+ community lived through. Dahmer killed 17 men and boys, most of them in Milwaukee. Authorities say he met many of his victims in gay bars in Walker's Point. DIX here in Walker's Point isn't the only bar sending this message. Another bar downtown is also warning their customers not to show up in a Dahmer costume. The bar This Is It also posted their own Dahmer costume ban on Facebook, telling 12 News it's been getting phone calls ever since the Netflix series aired, adding such hateful and disrespectful costumes will not be allowed in our space.
It really kind of infuriates me. It's just like really like, one, we shouldn't even be having to have this conversation.
Last week, Dahmer costumes that were for sale on eBay were pulled by the website, with the company saying it violated eBay's violence and violent criminal policy. Well, a reminder to make News 3 Now a part of your weekly routine by downloading the Channel 3000 app for the latest headlines and weather conditions 24/7 if you live here in Madison. And still ahead on weekend mornings, a Halloween tradition in a state where the holiday's a little warmer than in Wisconsin. We're back in a moment.
Dear Detour, you took us off-road on the gnarliest trails. You asked us to measure up, so yeah, we did. When life slings you mud, sling it right back. Stay strong, Toyota Trucks.
Right now, get 2.49% APR for 48 months on a new Toyota Corolla, Camry, RAV4, Highlander, or Tacoma. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
I'll never forget January 6th, watching my fellow law enforcement officers defending the Capitol, defending our freedoms, defending democracy, and then 5 officers died. But Ron Johnson is making excuses for rioters who tried to overthrow our government, even calling them peaceful protests. Johnson defended Donald Trump's lies and even supported efforts to make it harder for some people to vote at all. Senator Johnson's just not for us.
And Citizens United is responsible for the content of this ad.
When moderate to severe ulcerative colitis persists, put it in check with Rinvoq, a once-daily pill.
When UC got unpredictable, I got rapid symptom relief with Rinvoq. Check.
When UC held me back, I got lasting steroid-free remission with Rinvoq. Check.
And when UC got the upper hand,
Rinvoq helped visibly repair the colon lining. Check. Rapid symptom relief, lasting steroid-free remission, and a chance to visibly repair the colon lining. Check, check, and check.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers, including lymphoma and skin cancer, death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Put UC in check and keep it there with Rinvoq.
Ask your gastroenterologist about Rinvoq and learn how AbbVie could help you save.
With Choice Hotels, there's always a reason to book it. Whatever your reason, save 20% when you stay 2 or more nights at participating locations. Book direct at choicehotels.com. Terms and conditions apply.
7-day-old tuna casserole.
How'd you know that?
Even my nose is strong. You need Hefty Ultra Strong. It has Arm & Hammer, continuous odor control. Hefty, Hefty, Hefty. Oh, and Toby needs a bath. Stay one step ahead of Stinky.
News 3 Now presented an exclusive debate between Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul and challenger Eric Toney, going head-to-head, making their cases why they should get your vote. And only News 3 Now brought you the debate live, your local election headquarters.
As Campaign 2022 approaches the finish line, News 3 Now presents a special midterm election preview.
We're spotlighting key races and issues, fact-checking candidates, and hearing the voices of voters in battleground Wisconsin.
Saturday at 7 p.m. on News 3 Now.
Welcome back. Paddle Sports Center in Santa Barbara holding its annual Witchy Paddle Saturday morning. The event serves as a fundraiser for a local food bank. Take a look. Witches and Morlocks emerging on their stand-up paddle boards on a bright sunny day. Some even using their broom as a paddle. One witch brought her little dog along for the ride. Not sure Bascom would be too up for that. Participants say it's a fun way to celebrate Halloween and raise awareness for those in need ahead of the holiday season. Again, the proceeds going to a local food bank there. I gotta say, I teased this as something, that happens in a warmer state than Wisconsin, but with 70s in the forecast, maybe we could pull that off.
The water might be a little colder.
You think so?
Well,
we're hardy folk, though.
I don't know, but yeah. Today more clouds than yesterday, but still, it's still going to be mild conditions, 70s. More sun tomorrow, so we'll have 60s, low 70s, maybe not quite. I think the record for November 1st for lacrosse is 80. We won't say 80, but we'll get the 70s. Rain chances return Thursday night and through the next weekend.
All right, Greg Barnhart, thank you very much. And thanks so much for joining us on your Sunday morning, folks. Make it a great rest of your day. Enjoy that cup of coffee. CBS Sunday Mornings is up next. We'll see you back here Monday morning.